Any transformative idea in the past has been met with wonder, but often also with rejection and with fear. One idea that I find recurring in all your books is that you stress that one thing that humanity can always count on is change. So I wonder, why then are we still afraid of it, of change and of innovation?
First, because it's inconvenient to start again, to learn new things. It's not easy. And secondly, it's very often dangerous. If you look at biology, then I guess that 99% of mutations are bad for you. It's a very, very small percentage which actually improves things. Most startups fail. Even if you look at revolutions in history, so at least the more radical revolutions almost always, at least at first, bring more misery than happiness. It's usually the moderate revolutions that do better. Humans just are unable to completely rethink and reinvent the world. So if they try to change too much, too quickly, it's always a disaster. You know, you compare the Bolshevik Revolution in 1917 to the American Revolution, or so-called revolution, of the late 18th century. And one of the reasons the American Revolution did much better is because it tried to change much less. And when you look at the broad sweep of history, so especially if you're a kind of, the average person, many of the big revolutions that we today celebrate in hindsight, they did not improve the life of the ordinary individual. To take one of the biggest examples, the agricultural revolution, the shift from living as hunter-gatherers to living as farmers, this was a good idea if you were a king or a high priest or something like that. But for the average farmer, it made life much harder. The average farmer, let's say in ancient Egypt or in medieval China, worked much harder than ancient hunter-gatherers. She or he got a worse diet in return. They suffered much more from diseases. Most of the infectious diseases and epidemics in history, they started with agriculture. They did not bother at all the hunter-gatherers. And on top of all that, you had to deal with all the social and political inequality that emerged with agriculture, that wasn't there before. So if you're living at the beginning of the agricultural revolution and you are apprehensive about these new ideas and new gadgets, you are absolutely right to be apprehensive about them.